Tyler Sorby, 17 years old, live in Hartlepool. And you're the glamorous granddaughter of our Mick. Have you ever read his book?
Yeah,
What was it like?
good, interesting. Shocked what his life was like.
Do you have any idea what it was like before that, or?
We've read stories, but not as much as in the book.
Yeah, it's pretty strong stuff to read, isn't it?
Yeah.
That first chapter, you're just like, how could anyone be like that to his own son? We're doing the second documentary. Sorry, we're doing a documentary in the second book. Hartlepool Born and Bred 2, and that's going to be out before Christmas. And that's not about your granddad. It's just basically about everything in Hartlepool, characters, the murders, the bank robberies, the scams. Oh, what else? Just boxing history, just everything, everything about monkey hanging. And then we're doing a we're doing a documentary which is going to be filmed next month in the ship in Headlands. So he's probably going to get kind of widely known. He's quite well known in Hartlepool, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do any of your friends know him in that? No.
Yeah.
Right. Any of them read the book?
Yeah, me too. Has read it.
Really?
And a lot of people.
Was there any parts or you were a bit embarrassed about?
No.
Because I've heard your granddad watches Love Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously, he sent me something and I didn't even look. And then a friend of mine, Connor, got something and he went, Mick, you've been sending me links for Love Island. But to his, I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he's a bit like a Neanderthal who's just discovered fire with technology. But any stories on him? Any funny stories on him then?
Not really.
So what are you going to do then in Hartlepool? You're 17, so you just left school?
Last year.
Right. What are you going to do?
Second year of college. I'm doing the health and social care course.
In Hartlepool College?
Yeah.
What's it like growing up in Hartlepool these days, like for a young person? Is there much there?
Not really.
No.
Nothing to do.
What's the shops like and that? Is it all quiet or?
Sometimes.
Mm.
But there's not really there. So it's a bit boring.
Like your friends and that, do they go and plough on a night or is it rough or?
No, you just got to work.
So you're past that stage now?
Yeah.
Right. And so what are you going to do then? Get qualifications?
Yeah.
And what is it you want to be when you're all finished?
A child social worker.
Right. What brought you into that?
The amount of kids that are neglected in Hartlepool.
Is there really?
There's quite a few that are could do with help and the support.
What do you think the reason behind that is though? Like people, the parents just got nothing.
Yeah, money wise, and some are just cruel.
Mm.
Like what happened to my granddad, it still happens now to kids.
I've got to admit that is the strongest chapter I've ever read, and even when my wife, when she was proofreading that, she was like, "Jesus Christ," and it defies humanity. But is there still really bad cases in Hartlepool? Have you seen people where the kids are walking about with nothing on their feet and all that? And
not really that bad, but you don't really know what goes on behind closed doors. So. They see a lot as well. There's a lot of the dads hitting their mums and that now.
What's the drug problem like in Hartlepool like now?
Bad.
Really bad.
Quite bad, yeah. There's people who use drugs on every corner.
Is there really? What kind of drugs?
Just anything that can get their hands on.
It's like some of your friends took them and all that.
I know a few people that have took them, but my friends don't take them.
Yeah. It must be hard though, peer pressure that, doesn't it? Like people offering you and that. And years ago, and your granddad's told me lots of Hartlepool years ago, 30 odd years ago, the town was booming. And people would come there, like even on holiday, seating crew and that. And it's just all gone now, isn't it? It's just a ghost town.
Yeah. There's nowhere really to stay, really, apart from the marina.
Right.
That's the decent part of Hartlepool.
That's really expensive though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's when you read, when I read the Gazette these days, there's a lot happening in Hartlepool, and it's always still got a lot of murders and attacks and all that kind of thing. What can you see it changing?
Not really.
No.
It's like changing a bit with like people's sexualities and stuff, but there's still a lot of people who are against it and just looking for drama.
Do you know, when you say that though, when I was young, anyone who come out would have been kind of tortured in that way. These days, it's a lot more. It's really good. It's a lot more open-minded because people are like that, aren't they? So have you had like people at school coming out and all that?
Yeah.
That would have never happened like 25 years ago. And what's the what's it been like for them when they've done that? Have it just been accepted?
Sometimes it depends like who their friendship group is and stuff. But some just people just torture them in the streets and that.
Is that still going then? Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that not that long ago. A boy got followed and tortured.
Just for being gay.
Yeah.
It's sad, isn't it? Because you just think, do you know what? You shouldn't have to, but probably the best thing is to just keep quiet. So your granddad's filming this documentary then. Are you a bit worried about him being embarrassed? You're going to be embarrassed or?
No.
Is he never ever embarrassing? A little bit.
Just when you go out and everybody stops and talks and then you're just there for half an hour.
He's well liked, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, I didn't even know who he was. I'd never heard the name. And obviously I got introduced to him through Richie Horsley. And Richie said, Jamie, he said, that's a hell of a book there, and I went home and I read the forums and that, and there was quite a lot on him. And the more I dug into it, he wasn't, although he's had the life he's had, he wasn't what you call a professional criminal. He wasn't someone who was out selling drugs and, having bare knuckle fights. He was just a bloke who didn't have any qualifications, but did what he did to provide for his family. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? It's quite. He's someone who I wish I'd have known him years ago, because I whinge sometimes, have bad days, and then you look at Mick Sorby, who's fighting cancer, terminally ill. How's that been on the family?
Hard. Really hard.
He puts a brave face on now, doesn't he? When you look at him and he's just like, oh, I'm all right. Then you think, oh, well, I'm all right. But then you think, are you all right?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like people sorry for him, does he? He doesn't
He's
like
stubborn.
Yeah.
Really stubborn.
Yeah, he's doesn't like any attention. But these books are going to be here in 20 years' time. We're doing the documentary, and it's a legacy. It's a legacy for Mick. It's a legacy for Philly Tobin and Big Algie. Do you know them?
Not really.
No. Their grandkids, and when everyone's gone, they'll be able to see it. Philly said to me, it was just part of Hartlepool we didn't want to lose. And I remember Neil Booth saying to me, Lee Duffy's friend, if you'd never done them Lee Duffy books, in 20 years' time, everything would have been forgotten. So you've kept them alive. So these Hartlepool books and documentary or whatever, they're going to kind of keep that part alive. And he wasn't always he didn't always do things brilliant, but I've never really met anyone who dislikes him. I mean that, and I speak to a lot of people. He's well got. I think that's a reflection on the book sales. They've done really, really well. Yeah, he looks fantastic. Some weeks he comes and he looks bad, and then but it's amazing how he just gets on with life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your plans for the future then, Tyler?
Just to help children who need it.
Do you think you'll always stay in Hartlepool?
No.
Would you like to move out?
Yeah.
Because Mick's nephew, I think, do you know Mick, Ronnie Hughes? He went in the Navy, and he boxed when I boxed. And Mick said to me, he said, something, the sad thing is, if he'd have wanted to make something of his life, he'd had to move out of Hartlepool. And he's moved abroad now. He was in the Navy for 20 odd years. And if he'd have been stuck in Hartlepool, he'd have probably been a debt collector or a bouncer. You know, it's your home. What can you see for your future? Do you think you'd like to move away? Wouldn't you miss it?
No,
Does getting called a monkey hanger bother you?
no.
Because I spoke to some people from Hartlepool and they hate it.
I've never been called one.
You've never really? Right.
Yeah,
You know what it means though, don't you?
a little bit, yeah.
Right. So last word goes to you then, Tyler. So what do you want to say on your granddad then?
He's just does everything, anything for anyone.
Mm.
He's like he just does everyone proud.
Yeah, is he like the head of your family kind of thing? So if anyone's got any problems, they go to see Grandad Mick.
Yeah.
He's got good advice, hasn't he? And do you know what? He's not, for a guy who I suppose is known to have a fight, he's quite calm and collected. He'll say, right, give me an hour, let me have a think about it. Have you ever went for some advice off him or not?
Not really.
Mm. But people do though.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, you know, and when you read his book, when you put it down, what did you think? Were you thinking, Jesus, I didn't know it was as bad as that? Or, you know, were you worried when you said, oh, Grandad's got a book out?
It was quite funny the way he went about some stuff.
Mm.
Like about putting the lad through the wall and that.
Yeah. Someone gave him some poppers and he drank it. He didn't know it was supposed to be for stiffing. But yeah, you know, I suppose he did a lot of things with humour, and even now, you know, when he got told he had terminal cancer, and his missus was there, Pat, crying. So was that your nana?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh God, Mick, what are we gonna do?" And the first thing he said was, "I'm gonna go to the pie shop." You know, that's bizarre. That's just like, hang on a minute, you've just been told you're dying. You know, so I think it's probably a coping mechanism. You know, I think he was made into what he was, you know, with the abuse. And I think he used it to kind of become numb. He just did it as a job. And, you know, I think Richie Horsey said to me he had something like 6 fights in one night. That's staggering, absolutely staggering. But, you know, he does things with a lot of humour. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Is there any other bits in the book that you remember?
Not really. Just he's fighting. Just how he used to go out every night, and people used to ring him to come and sort them out.
Yeah. It's you know, I read that. I read it, and I put it down, and I rang Richie Horsley, and I said, Richie, can I have a word with you in private? And I said, all Mick seems to be doing is, was it really that bad? And he said, Jamie, it was worse. And I said, I feel like I need to play it down now. But he said, don't play it down. But I suppose when your job is to work for 50 years on the doors of Hartlepool, mixing with people under the influences of drugs and alcohol, it's never going to be any different, was it?
No.
So, yeah. But do you know what? The second book's going to be coming out. It'll be out for Christmas. I'm sure you'll be reading that.
Yeah.
He's dedicating it to his grandkids, actually. So it's dedicated to you. And his documentary, come along if you want. We're going to be filming in Headlands Pub in a couple of weeks, and yeah, that'll be out. We're not charging for that one, so that's going to be on YouTube, and it's just going to be a lot of, you know, capturing memories and you know, basically going from his childhood to on the doors to the characters to just basically the full of Hartlepool history, social history, if you like. So yeah, Tyler Sorby, there's absolutely loads of his. I must say, by the way, I'd never heard the name Sorby in my life. I never ever knew. And then now, all of a sudden, there's just Sorbys all over. I use a massive family.
Yeah, I don't even know half of them.
Seriously, it's just like, it's just like they pop up on social media, and I think, my God, I've never ever heard that name, Sorby. I've never met anyone called it. And then there's just stacks of yous. You literally must breed like flies. Do you know what, Tyler? It's been absolutely fantastic. So, Hartlepool, Born and Bred 2, the book is going to be coming out this year. Hartlepool, the documentary is also going to be coming out. We're going to be filming that in the Headlands. The ship in the Headlands in a couple of weeks. Mick, Philly Tobin, and Algie, and not only that, we're going to be going on filming bits of Hartlepool, the beach, the scenes. I don't know, the boat or anything Hartlepool, and that's going to be there forever. That's going to be there for years. It's Summit. It's his Mick Swan song, if you like. It's going to be there and it'll be there forever. So thanks for your time, Tyler. God bless.